Welcome to New Frontier Cast. Well, now it's just every Friday. I'm changing the podcast to be posted every Friday instead of Monday and Friday because trying to do it twice a week ended up using up topics a little bit too quickly. And often people would not be able to record, and that just ended up resulting in last week where I wasn't able to post one on Friday or Monday because it just wasn't able to happen, and I was just producing them a little bit too quickly. So since I'll be doing it just every Friday now, hopefully I'll be able to continue this on throughout college because I believe just doing one once a week, I'll be able to just continue them throughout college. Because 2 a week is going to be insane. Today's topic is why New Frontier Craft. What brought me to creating New Frontier Craft in the first place? And there's a little story behind just the question alone, not despite the answer. So, throughout the time of New Frontier Craft's development, and mostly before 1.8.5, the question that was always posed to me is, why did you add this? Why did you change this in Minecraft? And that was likely because back then, I claim generally what I do today is that New Frontier Craft is a better experience than old Minecraft. But back then, like 1.8.4 and behind, the game was harder. And because it was harder, it didn't really improve upon the experience as people expected, so people would often come to me and be like, well, you say, you're trying to improve the experience, why is the game harder? And I always had a logical explanation to it, with having to deal with work ethic and somehow that improving your experience. And I remember giving that answer so many times. It was a long explanation, sometimes 2 paragraphs to so many people. And now, once I developed 1.8.5, I threw away that old logic that I was holding dearly to because I thought that was just one of the things I discovered throughout my adventures in old Minecraft. And I just realized I gotta stop doing that. That old Minecraft is not supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be, a little bit of a challenge to keep you in the game, which is what I've made New Frontier Craft, but not hard. So now that I've changed that in 1.8.5, I just aim for giving it the best experience and not trying to make it that hard. And guess what? The question is no longer asked. So suddenly, instead of being posed the question, why did you add this, why did you add that? I was posed by the question a few weeks ago by the Zyga, why did you make New Frontier Craft? And for all the time of New Frontier Craft, I've never really been posed that question. And I legit answered him. I was like, I actually have no idea how to answer that question right now. Give me like an hour or 2 to think about it. So, here was my response I eventually gave him. 6 years ago, I experienced Minecraft for the first time. It was mind-blowing to someone like me. I was a very visual person, and this was like my own little world. At the time, I was 14, and I fell in love with the game unlike any other. Who knew you could do so many different things in one unified experience called Minecraft? Eventually, Beta 1.8 rolled around, and since then the game has never really felt the same. I ended up wanting more and more out of Minecraft after that update came out, and Vanilla could just not provide that. I believe that mostly came from creative mode, but that's a whole different podcast. So I moved on to bigger stuff. Technic Pack was the thing I played for a long time. And in that time, the game was kind of broken and overpowered because of something in the game called an energy collector. And you could just reproduce items with just light. And I clearly remember a time that, it just broke the value of stuff in the game because you could produce whatever you wanted, and in your mind it was survival mode, and it just broke the game down to me mentally because everything lost its value from playing Technic at its extreme. So I suddenly had zero motivation to play Minecraft after playing Technic after a while, and I tried to go back to vanilla and play just Minecraft Survival again, which at the time it was 1.4 modern. And I remember times just forcing myself to try to play the game. There'd be times when I would just sit there and stare at my little wooden shack house that I'd created. And it just hit me like something's not right here. Like the game just doesn't feel like it used to. Sure, I'm Technic probably influenced that a bit, but there's something that, I mean, it was 1.4 Modern, which wasn't really considered to be the greatest versions of Modern because it still had the poor generation from Beta 1.8, and it just didn't feel the same. And I was like, you know what? There's something lacking in modern Minecraft that old Minecraft had. So I went back to the older versions, and because I was like, I just wanted to search out what modern Minecraft was missing. And I ended up going farther back than when I first joined, just to try to get a full experience of old Minecraft. The time I actually joined was Beta 1.4, but the version I started at with my re-experiencing old Minecraft was Alpha 1.1.0. After playing it for a little while, one day I suddenly decided to make myself the mission to re-experience old Minecraft in its entirety up to Beta 1.7.3, and as I would continue going through those versions, I would build a public community. I would start servers and growing an old Minecraft community. And once I would hit Beta 1.7.3, we would stay there for a little while, and I would figure out, after my experience through old Minecraft, what made this different from modern, and eventually start developing my own mod for Beta 1.7.3 based off of what I'd learned. And that's New Frontiercraft. That was the first thought of building New Frontiercraft. At the time, I didn't know I'd call it that, but I mean, that was like 5 years ago I planned to start New Frontiercraft, and just for a whole year I re-experienced old Minecraft first. So that's what I did. I played Alpha for a little while, and then I had Alpha 1.1.2 with my friends. It was a private server, and then I went public once I improved to Alpha 1.2.6. That's when we made our first To the Alpha video. And for months, I hosted that and a Beta 1.2 server. And then I hosted a Beta 1.3 server, very briefly a Beta 1.4 server, and finally 1.7.3 for a little while. And I was going back and forth between some Beta 1.7.3 servers, and towards the end of that, you would see the first New Frontiercraft video I posted after the beta servers were getting shut down because there was just way too much commotion and hacking and destruction on the servers. I couldn't take it anymore, so I had to kind of run the New Frontiercraft kind of early on. And you'd see the first NFC video, which would be Beta 1.7.4. And that was also the first time I came up with the name New Frontiercraft. Originally, the name New Frontier was for something else I was doing in the servers to try to revive something for beta. And I just liked the name so much that I ended up just keeping it for the mod. So over the years I've developed New Frontiercraft, I've also greatly changed as a person. Back then I was a little bit more selfish and hoped New Frontiercraft would make me the next popular notch. I thought it'd make me the next notch is what I claimed myself to be. And for a little while, that was legit my main motivation for making New Frontiercraft, was to be the next notch, not really to make Minecraft have the best experience I could give it. And that probably, added to why in the beginning I trusted so much in the logic I learned that I was making the game harder. And it wasn't the best experience, but I thought it was, so therefore it was. Despite what anyone else would tell me. So after a little while, that would get shot down because there was all kinds of stuff that happened that made me realize that really is not the best for old Minecraft, and neither is me trying to make New Frontiercraft all about me. Since then, I've reconnected with God, and my intention was to throw in the towel for a little while because it just seemed like New Frontiercraft was just something that had built out of me selfishly, I guess. Because, it was all about trying to make myself popular as a next notch, so I was going to throw it away. Mostly when a hacker came around for New Frontiercraft, built his own broken client for New Frontiercraft to destroy our servers, and I was so close to dropping it. I was like, okay, I can tell that this is not something I should be at. It's just going up in flames. But suddenly this guy turned around and created authentication for us, and that was something that New Frontiercraft desperately needed for protection. And that turnaround is still something I hold on to, of being like just initiating New Frontiercraft in a new direction. Because for a while I was praying to God, saying, if New Frontiercraft is something I shouldn't be doing, just strike it down, burn it up. And that seemed like what was happening for a little while, and I was about to drop it. But suddenly this guy turned around and gave us authentication, and it wasn't the end of the story there with this guy. This guy turned around again and tried to destroy us, but he gave us code to block him out, so we blocked him out, and New Frontiercraft had authentication. And since then, I still have not felt like New Frontiercraft is something I shouldn't be doing. Like, I think it has some form of potential that maybe I don't understand yet, so I've continued on to it, continued developing it to this day, hoping one day it will fulfill whatever purpose there is for it, whether it be it's going to be my future job, or make a decent amount of money for it, or just a really good coding and people experience, or, I mean, it's already been that, but I'm still continuing it. Or maybe it's going to be something else I cannot see yet in my life. So recently I've just been joyful to see so many people saying, I've got something right with New Frontiercraft now. I mean, we've got kids coming from Modern to check out New Frontiercraft and play it a lot. And I've had a guy who hosts Modern servers tell me, despite him still hosting those Modern servers, he's totally dived into New Frontiercraft and just can't stop playing it. So I've definitely got something right about the experience of Minecraft that I've improved upon in New Frontiercraft. So I'm sure this mod has greater potential than the numbers we're seeing right now. If you're checking out the charts of me just documenting the growth of New Frontiercraft, it's not looking like it's going to hit the goals at the moment that I set for it, but I've had so much positive feedback on 1.8.5 that I think I just need to stick to it, and we'll see. At some point, some YouTuber is going to find this and be like, whoa, this is actually really cool. Post it on his channel, and boom, New Frontiercraft will boom. And with that, our guest today, Waffles. He's been with us in New Frontiercraft for a little while, and how's it going, Waffles?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, too. I've been having a crazy busy weekend. I mean, there was nothing the last weekend that was posted because 3 failed recordings, and I'm not going to get into that because there's some secret recordings, but...
Yeah, we had a bit of trouble aligning our time zones, haven't we?
Yep. It wasn't just you. It was kind of funny. I had like 4 people I was planning to do a podcast with over the weekend, and it just, all 4 of them ended up being like, I'm sorry, man, I can't do it. I'm like, it's all right. I'm planning to cut down on podcasts anyway, because they're big topics, and we talk about them, and then suddenly I don't have any more big topics, so got to conserve the podcasts. So how did you discover New Frontiercraft? Because I know you weren't even there for New Frontiercraft. You discovered the Quizstones channel way back then.
Yeah, I did. So it started, I think I ran into a nostalgia style Minecraft video. Trying to remember what the video was like. I think they recorded it in beta 1.7.3, which was my probably my favorite version. I think that's just when it hit that niche for me. And I remember I scrolled down the comments and I saw your comment from the Quizstones advertising New Frontiercraft. This was about 2 years ago. And I thought, why not? I like beta 1.7.3, so might as well give this a go. So I clicked on, downloaded, had a little play around, went on the server. I've just been here ever since, just on and off.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Like, our server will be on for a few weeks, and then suddenly you'll appear, and then these towers will start forming around your base.
Yeah, I am quite a big fan of towers. They're very good to make. You can make hundreds of them, and they just look really nice.
Yeah, make the mountains look small.
Yep, that's my motto now.
Did you play any of the other beta servers we used to host back in the day?
I don't think so. No, I think yeah, I think I only started with the newer ones. I think I've been on about 3 worlds that you've made so far. I
Okay.
specifically remember the first city I made, and then I made the castle, and now I'm here now. I think
The
I might.
first one, like Europa.
Yes, yes, that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good map. I'm sad to let that one go. It
Yeah,
had
I miss
such
it
old
dearly.
terrain. If I don't have it posted, I might as well post it publicly just so then people can download that world again. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that's a massive world nonetheless, though.
I
'Cause we
remember
had that
when
for a
you
little while.
yeah, we had that for a while. Yeah, I remember when you made a new tutorial for installing the newer versions, and I saw that your wallpaper was actually a build from mine from that server. I was like, oh no, makes me miss
Oh,
it even more.
I'm trying to remember. Wallpaper for what? Oh, on the install video. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
it was the bridge.
Yeah, I should post that world because I don't think I have. And
Yeah,
that
I
was a
quite
really
like
cool
that
world.
world actually. Yeah,
I remember making my little communist, little communist. I forget what I called it. I think it was just Orion. But it was
oh
like,
yeah,
if you
yeah,
join this faction, everything is shared.
yeah.
I didn't really think of it as communism, but then people were like, that's like communism. Like, you're right. I have a
You
little
just kind
communist
of
faction.
just roll with it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Uh, in fact, since you were around for a decent amount of New Frontier Craft, we could talk a little bit about just early New Frontier Craft experiences. Were you there
Yeah.
for the whole hacking on New Frontier Craft?
I think I might have missed that actually. I don't specifically remember much hacking going on in my time.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just remember, you know, casually playing Minecraft on the New Frontier servers while watching something on the other screen, and that's pretty much what I've been doing these last 2 years. Just playing around on the New Frontier servers. Yeah,
yeah. Um, it's kind of weird for me when I go back to beta 1.7.3 occasionally. Like, it's just not as good as New Frontier Craft.
no,
It's kind of weird because if you would have asked me that in 1.8.4, I'd say they're about equal because
mm,
1.8.4 was hard, but it was bigger, so I kind of
mm,
like the more experiences it gave. But now with
yeah,
1.8.5, I've really made the game a lot more chill. Like it's just I almost can't play beta 1.7.3 as enjoyably anymore because I just love New Frontier Craft so much more.
yeah.
And I guess that's a good thing from the creator to say this way.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good start. I'm, yeah, I do remember having some really great moments with like beta 1.7.3, like the original, and I think it's why I eventually decided to join New Frontier because I just loved it so much. I got really deep into the factions system on this one server. I played the server for about, I don't know, 3 months. And I just remember being a part of this like 40-man server, like this faction, and it was huge. Because before then, you could just trust anyone, just slap a load of armor on everyone, just roam around with like 20
Yeah,
people. It's
that's true.
fantastic. You couldn't really do that on modern versions anymore because of all the rather
Toxicity.
toxicity and all the enchantments and stuff. Kind of make it a bit more expensive to make mistakes, you know.
That's interesting. Never thought
Because
about that.
before on the server, I just remember I went into the mines. I got like several stacks of iron. I just threw it at my team, and we just had loads. Because before then, the difference between diamond armor and set and iron was quite small. It was more in the numbers than the quality of what you have on you,
Yeah.
and you could quite easily like get a group of friends, like say you might have like 6 friends. You could quite easily take on like 3 people in diamond armor if you have like all your friends with iron, and that's why I quite liked it because it put a bit more emphasis on like making groups rather than kind of
Oh,
hiding away because
that is going to be a thing in New Frontier Craft, even though that isn't like a conscious thing I decided. Because what I want to do is in the weapons update, because you're going to have multiple types of bows and multiple types of armor, is you're going to have people of like different classes going in an attack. So you could have someone who's really quick with a bow, and then backed up with 2 people with heavy armor on pigs. Like, I'm excited for the weapons update.
Will there be armor on the pigs?
I probably could do that. I don't see why not.
Oh, that would be good.
I could just make it simple where like you grab a chest plate and you just throw it on a pig instead of like adding a new crafting recipe, because that would just mean more item IDs, and we do not need more item IDs at the moment. So,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I should add armor to pigs in the weapons update. So if you have osmium armor and then put osmium armor on a pig, you'll be like this slowly moving tank that just rolls in and just doesn't die.
Yeah, you just run away from
it. So
it.
hard to create.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, talking about the community, I've been really happy with New Frontier Craft's community so far. Like how much it's grown. Like I know we have a decent amount of young people on the server, but like they're all decently mature, and I'm happy they're here.
Yeah, they're coming in like crazy now. I mean, they're like I'd come on some days, so like 2 new people just sitting there. I'm like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like 2 more would show up while you're sitting there. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting on average right now, I would say 2 new people a day, 3 new people a day. Sometimes they just join and don't do anything and leave, which is unfortunate. But I mean, we're still getting a decent amount of new people per week that legit play after trying it out. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on your mind with New Frontier Craft?
Not too much really. Is there anything in maybe like the modern versions that you'd quite like to emulate back to this older version?
I'm definitely gonna take the new bow and put it back in the older versions.
Oh,
that's
That's
one thing I'm gonna mess with it a little bit though, because I do want to keep the lighter bow. As I said, I'll be adding in multiple bows, but the lighter bow, I'm not gonna have it take as long to pull back. Like it's gonna be like a very quick reload. But it's still going to be like modern, where like you zoom in a little bit, you pull it back a little bit, and it has a more accurate aim.
Oh,
I just think that's superior. Yeah. I'm just going to manipulate the numbers a little bit for each type of bow.
That's good. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. Is there anything else though? I know we're talking about moving New Frontier Craft to the Anvil save system, so then we can have the 256 height limit instead of the 128.
Oh yeah, I definitely I need that for my towers.
Oh no, dude, you're gonna make like the biggest towers.
You'd never see me again. You'd have to go up like 20 flights of stairs just to maybe see me.
I don't even know how I feel about this now. Like it's just gonna be like normal mountains, and all of a sudden you'll have these huge. You know what? Now that I think of it, I could even modify beta just a little bit in the terrain gen so that the mountains are a little bit higher if we increase the height limit. Like not enough that it messes with. The original seed, it just would be a little bit taller.
Yeah. But, I did quite like how modern they doubled the height limit. I think when that happened, I was just like, oh, that's perfect. Because I just love towers, I'm going to be honest. I just really
it's a good
like...
thing too, because
there's this one tower design.
Always use some towers.
There's this one tower design that I've put on every server I've ever been on. I haven't managed to build it on this current server yet, but I've built it on every server I've ever been on. And I've always put it right to the top of the map every single time. So if you put that to 256, you'll see that from spawn.
All right. Yeah. Another thing that's been on my mind recently is I'm just trying to figure out how to I want to make my own Optifine for New Frontier Craft, but man, it's not going to be easy. I'm going to have to dig into how things are rendered, and I just don't know. I'm going to do that at the moment. We've got some good ideas for 1.8.6. We've got a point system. We might put it on
Mitch, how's your baby going?
Dude, this is my podcast. Please get away. That was my sister.
Yeah, your pregnant wife just called me, and we're really worried. Really worried.
It's gonna be making
this podcast is going downhill.
Dude, I don't know if I'll cut that out or keep it in.
Dude, it's like a block.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the community of New Frontier Craft right now is just so reflective of how it used to be back then. At the same time, and I think that's also really, really, really cool. Like, I'm so happy New Frontier Craft is bringing back the old community.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to more people. Yeah,
if a whole bunch of new people were joining out, I would do what you basically said. Just like if we're in a battle, just give them a whole bunch of arm and be like, "All right, let's go, boys." I trust them.
Yeah. I think the best we've had so far. I think we had 9 people on the server at one point. And that was
Yep.
great. It was just
Yeah, that was
people
that was
everywhere. It was like, whoa.
cool. Yeah, I mean, we've still been having. Usually, the server peaks at 6 people at some point a day right now.
At some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually,
it
I have
doesn't
to
last
stay
for
up
too
quite
long,
late to
but
see that.
Yeah.
No, it's mostly American
Yeah, it is mostly
people,
American.
so I have to stay up until like 2 o'clock at night if I want to see
Yeah, now
anyone.
that you mention that, it's actually been an interesting shift. Back then, it was mostly European when we would have spikes. It's
Mhm.
kind of American. I wonder why.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. Yeah, it's going
Alright.
pretty well for you now, isn't it?
It is. I mean, again, I do have. Have you seen that post I made on the forums about me monitoring how much New Frontier Craft is growing and how much I'll stick to it depending on that?
Yeah, I think I saw that post.
Yeah, it's not been growing as much as I thought, but with as much positive feedback I've gotten from like every person that's played so far, like normally 1 in 2 people take the time to tell me like you actually have something really good going here. I wish this was more popular, like that actually legit play the. So, I mean,
Yeah, that's good.
despite if we don't get the numbers, I'm still just going to continue on with it, even if it's not as much throughout college, just to keep it growing and. Hopefully, someone big discovers it and is like, "Hey guys, check this out!" And
Yeah, that's what we're
we'll
waiting
start
on.
booming. Yep, that's what we're waiting on. All right. Anything else to bring up?
No, I can't think of anything else.
All right. It's nice chatting with you,
Yep,
and I hope to see you on that server.
will do.